Hey everybody, I was going to stop and show you this property that just popped up. Well, it shouldn't say just popped up. It just had a reduction in price. And for those of you looking for off-grid, hobby farm, homestead property, this is 4.25 acres for $144,900. They just dropped the price $25,000. I'm going to get out and just walk the property and kind of show you what the potential there is here. Again, for you off-gridders, this is kind of a cool property because it's got a little, I call it an island. It's a hill that goes out into the middle of the property that would be beautiful for a building lot with walkout basements either direction, to the north or to the south. If you're going to do a ground mount solar, you could do that on the south side of the hill, bury it right up against the hill to avoid the wind. Just a lot of potential here, and the views are great. You're out in the middle of the country here. You're still close to everything, but secluded lot, perfect hobby farm lot. 4.25 acres, $144,900. Let's go show it to you. All right, so the road comes in down here and the property drops down into this little valley. Goes to the base of this other hill over here, to the base of the hill. But then you have what I call the island, this outcropping of dirt here. Again, so 4.25 acres. And I'm gonna walk out here to the very end for you. All right, you didn't need to hear me breathing heavy as I was walking out here, but this property comes down the hill, kind of, I'll show you the power box back here. Power box, power connected. Follows this hill. Now, right here at the corner of that field, you're gonna see there's a stake there. Follows the field over. And there's a fence line right behind that little shed. Comes along the bottom. There's a post right here at the base. And then it's going to head up this direction. So the potential for walkout basement on either side is amazing. You have great mountain views. It's kind of hard to see, but over through this gap, let me see if I can zoom in. There's a roof. I'm wanting to focus on my finger. There's a roof over here. There's a red barn over here. The red barn is on the opposite side of the reservoir, whereas the brown house right at the tip of my finger there is on the north side of the reservoir. So the reservoir is in between those two properties. You're 2 minutes from the reservoir. Great fishing, you got water skiing, you got jet skiing. It's one of the few reservoirs in this area that you can use a power boat or a jet ski. So yeah, if you're looking for another great option for an off-grid property or hobby farm or homestead, visit us at eccleshenline.com. Give us a call, John Eccles or Barry Henline, and let us help you find that property and live those dreams. So see it, catch it, and live it. So the final in our series on solar, as I mentioned, we're not deep diving into this. We're just kind of showing you some different ideas. If you're looking to buy a property that's off-grid, hobby farm, homestead, and you want to get in and show a little solar and use a little solar. For us, the important thing was the package had to be able to support what we use. We have a hot tub, we have a freezer, we have the well pump, we have water heater, all those things that use electricity. And so, not just that, we didn't want a system that only worked when the sun was shining. So we did a battery backup. I'm going to show you the battery backup. So here's my battery backup system. Once it's installed, I just start building around it with my garage. As you can see, the lines go up into the attic, then they're going to cross over out the outside of the house and down to the panels. Here we have enough battery backup for everything we need. Usually, I was told, now I'm not saying we're going to have the dryer and everything blasting at the same time with the AC, what have you, but we should have enough battery backup for 2 to 4 hours consistent energy production from the batteries. Now, for us, we are a little bit more die-hard and we don't want to go without. And so the way our system is set up is we also have a in-home generator attached to the system. So we have the Generac in-home system, and the way our system is put together, the panels produce power. They come into the house through the inverter into the batteries, charge the batteries. Now we're also hooked up to the grid. We are hooked up to the power source, power company. Now, if the power company for any reason is to shut down, the switch turns over and we start draining the batteries. Like I say, it should be 2 to 4 hours from what our representative told us of supply. Now, don't hold me to that. Like I say, I'm not an expert on this. Once the batteries drain down, then our in-home generator, the Generac, will kick in and start charging the batteries till there's sufficient charge that the generator will shut off. We'll use the power from the generator or from the power from the batteries again till it drains down. And if this is a long-term thing, the generator is going to continue to turn on and charge the batteries until the sun starts shining again, wherein the panels will take over, charge the batteries, generator will turn off. Or we run out of propane. Our generator, our home is run on propane. And so if we run out of propane in our 1,000-gallon tank, then we wait till the sun shines and the panels produce enough electricity to charge these batteries. So some people may think that's backup upon backup upon backup, but that's kind of how we like it. We don't want to go without heat. We don't want to go without the comforts of a hot shower. And honestly, I want to be able to sit in the hot tub and relax at night and enjoy some hot water. So that's the system that we have set up. So we are going to talk about roof mount systems. There are so many different roof mount systems out there. I don't know what I could say that hasn't been talked about a million times. It is a great option if you want the power and you want the source. For me, I just didn't want to be messing around getting up on the roof. I didn't want to mess around with having to change shingles over time and taking the system off to change the roof, that type of thing. Plus, we have the area in the yard that we can put the ground mount system. So that's why we chose that. We introduced you to our friend that had the carport looking system. Again, for him, that's what works best to cover his vehicles and his toys and to produce power that way. So a lot of great systems out there, a lot of great properties. I hope you enjoy the property we're showing you today. 4.25 acres, fantastic price, fantastic location. Contact us at EcclesHendline.com and let's show you some of these properties. So because of the weather, we're not going to do any fishing today. Plus, I've been out helping a friend move a lot of his stuff into his new home that he's building. And so I did want to show you some of the other fun things that I enjoy about the homestead lifestyle. What I'm trying to do is off the side of my shop, I'm trying to build kind of a lean-to attachment that I can put siding on the back and on the sides. I don't know that I'll put a front door on it, but with that lean-to, I'll have more covered parking. I can put the tractor in there, put the block heater on in the winter. It's covered, it's out of the sun, it's out of the weather. Or I can just put other shop tools and implements in there. And so the ground here, the clay is super solid. And so anytime I try to use my front end bucket, you're just scraping and digging little chunks. So I like to back in, use my backhoe, loosen it up, break it up, and then come back with the front end bucket. Now, what I'm doing is I'm moving that clay and that dirt and putting it up higher on the property where I'm trying to terrace for more parking for not only guests, but also for trailers. I want to move some of the jet ski trailers and some of the boats up towards the front of the property so I don't have to go so far to pull them out of the field, especially when it's muddy. So what I'll do is I'll build that foundation this summer, let the water and the rain and everything continue to pack it down. I'll drive over it, pack it. And then come fall, we're gonna put some road base and some 3/4 inch gravel on top of it. I like the gravel on top just to keep the mud, so when you drive on it, you're not getting so much mud all over your vehicle. So just show you that's kind of one of the fun things about homesteading is messing around on your equipment and doing some projects, build it yourself.